Hi everyone, this is PBD Conversations live for the first time on Instagram. We're excited to be welcoming Hannah Anderson in a few minutes, and looks like she's joined us already. So PBD Conversations, I'm going to go ahead and invite her on to join our conversation here. He'll just take a few minutes. PBD Conversation is a weekly show that we do live on either Instagram or hi Hannah.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just trying
Good.
to. Whoa, what
Oh,
the
that's
heck is
fun.
going on here?
Well, we'll just finish kind of introducing the show. This is our first time on Instagram Live. That's working. Last week we tried it out. It didn't quite work. We've been on Facebook. This is our sixth PBD conversation that we're going to do every week. And this is where an opportunity for all of the people out there, our big, large PBD family, to get to know the instructors and the leaders in our PBD organization. So it's pretty. My name is Anne Eugenio. I work in development and communications, which is basically public relations and fundraising for PBD, because PBD is organized as a non-profit organization, which means it functions differently than something that's owned by an individual. So it's a pretty cool thing. It makes us kind of special. So here we are with Hannah. And Hannah is just moved. It's only been like a month since you've moved here, right? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's been, yep, a little over a month now, which is weird.
Yeah.
Time went by fast.
So tell me, yesterday or the other day, it was raining and I saw you and you were so excited.
Yeah, well, I was more so excited for my husband because, well, he's like been to Washington before, but for some reason I was like, it's your first rain living here in Washington. He was kind of excited, but I was more excited.
It was a pretty good rain too. It was like one of those downpours rather than like the drizzly mist that we usually get. So I was
Yeah.
excited for 'em. So tell us a little, can you tell everyone that's watching, well, first of all, anybody that's watching, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and ask them anytime. We'll take a minute at the very end and make sure that we scroll through and answer any questions that are asked. But we really want to be as interactive as we can. So go ahead and type it in there if you have any questions or comments for Hannah. So Hannah, let's just hear a little bit about your background as a
Okay.
dancer and just in general.
Okay. Well, my background as a dancer. Well, my mom put me in dance when I was little. She was a dancer. She was coaching a college dance team when she was pregnant with me up to like right when she gave birth. She was coaching that college dance team. So it's always been part of my life. But I did like jazz, ballet, contemporary growing up. And then when I was 11, I was super interested in Dancing with the Stars, as many were at the time. And I was like, I don't care if I have a partner or not. I just want to do ballroom. So my mom found a local ballroom studio, and it was actually with Monique, who's one of the instructors at the studio at PBD right now. She's in charge of the academy, and she was my first ballroom teacher when I was 11.
I can't believe Monique was your first ballroom teacher. That's so cool.
I know, it's crazy, and now I like work under her. It's awesome. uh, yeah, so that's when I started, and I was with her for about a year, and then I moved to another ballroom called Impulse Ballroom, and I started training with some other instructors around the area here in Washington named Cora and Simeon, and they had a youth program, so I was with them for a while. And then I really wanted to go to BYU, so I talked to Kurt Holman, who's the director of the BYU Ballroom Dance Team, and I asked him at Nationals one year, what do I need to do to be on the ballroom team? And he said, you need formation experience. So I came to PBD. My mom and I actually, we moved because we were living in Snohomish at the time. So we moved to Maple Valley so that I could be closer to PBD so that I could do that.
I did not know any of that. That is amazing. So you
Serious dance mom status right
yeah,
there. Moved
that
me.
is major. I have to admit to you that I actually considered buying a camper so that I could park out here and like give my kids dinner. And that
That
was
would be
going to be hardcore. But I'm
that
not
would be
like,
hardcore.
but it sounds like your parents or your mom like really was committed to that. That's amazing. I think that's really cool that you started with as an individual competitor and then moved over to the team stuff. That's a little bit unusual. Did you find the team stuff really fun? Did you like it, or what was?
Yeah. I mean, I think that quickly became my favorite thing. I always tried to do team sports growing up. Like I tried basketball at the Y, and I was on a kickball team. That was actually fun. But I always liked the team sports, but I was never good at the actual sport. So, yeah, doing formation teams I definitely got some of my closest friends from PBD and the team experience, and then carrying that into my college experience as well. Obviously, I met my husband through being on the same team, and so yeah, I'd say it worked out.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing about like your opportunity to learn from some of the other ballroom dance experts in our community up north and things like that, because all these individuals kind of create this wonderful culture and of ballroom dance here in Washington State and in the Pacific Northwest. We really can't do it without each other. You know, we have to kind of, you know, create that community. So it's pretty cool to see that we really are all connected. Maybe I'll have to get one of them to do a PBD conversation with me. Like,
yeah, they would be great at that. They have a ton to offer, so
that'd be pretty fun. So tell me about. So you went to school and you graduated. What was your degree in?
In college?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So I don't get a degree in high school, but I got my degree in global studies, international women's health, international development, and ballroom dance. So I was in college for a long time. But yeah,
that's really cool. That's cool. So I was interested to talk with you recently about your kind of perspective on women and ballroom dance and kind of the special challenges that they have. I thought we maybe talk about that a little bit. You mentioned that you had some of your emphasis in school is women's health, world women's health, and so I know that you're interested in that topic in general, just, you know, women and our place in the world and how special difficulties we have related to our gender. So can we talk a little bit about being a woman in the ballroom dance world and what kind of difficulties come up there?
Sure. Well, the first thing that I'd probably say is that it's definitely competitive, but everybody knows that, right? Like most people that dance are women. And then there are occasionally, depending on where you are in the program that you're involved in, then there are some boys involved. Here at PBD, there's a ton of boys involved, which is awesome, right? But yeah, it's just more competitive. And because of that, the emphasis tends to go towards male teachers because they're far and few between. And also just in like specifically the higher up you go, the more men are involved because they've been in the industry for so long and it's a good place for them because they're making money, but there are just more and more men involved the higher up you go.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, at BYU, I'd say majority of the ballroom faculty is men. And then the adjunct faculty is often women. For whatever reason, you know, like, I think another factor that I think we have to acknowledge, though, is that those women also are, you know, mothers. The men are fathers, too, but I think with the societal roles of that, we don't often give the women the opportunity to be in that position of authority because we think that they have other responsibilities that they might have to take care of, which I personally think that should be the women's choice and not the institution's choice. But I'll tone it down and go to that.
We can talk about this all day.
Yeah.
The reality is that we have a flood of women and young women and girls in the dance world and community and becoming experts, professionals, and that same ratio you would expect to see in the teaching and administration portion. If we're going to see that that women would still be the majority since they are entering as the majority. But since we don't, and men are then taking up the leadership and teaching positions, then we see that as a problem. Identifying where that problem and how can it be fixed, that's a little more tricky. But I think naming it and acknowledging it is a great first step. And I love that you're kind of open and talking about that. So,
yeah, I mean, it's awesome because, I mean, Landon, obviously he teaches here at the studio too, and that benefits me that he has a job, you know, and it's a job that he loves, which is really important to me. Not that he's just doing something just because it makes money for us. So, yeah, I mean, there are pros and there are cons, but that's the same thing with everything in life, right? So,
yeah, there are pros and cons, and there's difficulty breaking into indie industry. But I do think women have special circumstances. I don't know. Or
sure.
have difficulties that are specific to being a woman that we have to navigate. And dance is no different than anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, but we can do it, right? And I just think, Hannah, you're amazing. I've seen you working with the kids, and you're really connecting with them on a level that is really fun to see. And I hope that everybody gets a chance to be in one of your classes taught with a private lesson, because they've been missing they didn't. So you kind of have like a gentle but like direct spirit and way about you that is great for kids. You don't think
I hope so. My goal is to just help them improve, and no kid is the same, right? So I just try my best. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, you're doing amazing. Do so many good things. So tell us what you do at PBD. What are your roles here? Yeah.
Okay, so at PBD, I work. I am the assistant for the preteen premiere team with Beth. She's awesome. I'm learning a lot from her. And I also teach academy classes. So I teach a bronze 1 class, which I love because it's sort of like starting, but like some of them are a little bit more advanced, so I can do a little bit of both. And then Landon and I both teach this 2 smooth classes, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. And that's been really exciting because I know that there have been smooth classes offered, but this one's a little bit more of like a show dance class. So it's more focused on definitely the technique of it, but other stuff as well, more showy aspects of smooth.
Yeah, I think the kids are excited about that, and I'm excited about it watching. I wish I could be young and learning to dance, but
Thanks.
I cannot, alas. But
you're private. Just kidding.
Okay. We'll talk.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah, it's really exciting to like so the basic dances are a lot of close frame, and then this more structured, and this class is going to give them a chance to explore their creativity and have a little bit more tricks and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we also have those Saturday classes that is kind of being run by you, Landon, and other people, I guess. But I am teaching one contemporary class, I think. So that'll be fun for me.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you're doing that. That's really cool. I didn't know you were on the list. That's another great reason to sign up for this amazing class. Saturdays, starting September 12th. I'm just going to plug it right now. So you can learn from Hannah and Landon and Beth Dolan and maybe a couple other people, contemporary and hip hop dance Saturdays, 9:30 and 10:30. 4 weeks, 4-week series. It's going to be awesome. Start September 12th. It's going to be good. And you also teach private lessons. And when Dancing Classrooms comes back, you'll be teaching Dancing Classrooms, right? And it will come back because we need that program.
Yeah, we really do. That program is incredible.
So that's good. It's a lot. It's a big move. We're glad you're here. We're really glad you're here.
Thank you. We're happy to be here too. It was a big move though, that's for sure. All the way from Utah It's only a few states away, but we left a lot of comfort to get some growth. So it's good.
Yeah. I personally do think it's a good thing when you're like leaving college and married, just to go out and just kind of do something fresh. Because then you get older, you get kind of like ingrained in a spot.
Yeah.
A good time to just kind of mix things up. So I'm excited for you. So what are your goals? What if you had to say, if you had a goal for yourself, or what special challenges that are working with? We know what challenges exist in the world. There's some big ones right now. But when you're starting to work with your teams and your classes, talk about what you can talk specifically about the COVID, like wearing masks and social distancing, and what is that like to teach a class with those going on, and how are you managing it? You could talk about that for a minute, or you could talk about any other special challenges or goals that you're facing, and how you're working through them as you teach at PBD.
Okay. Okay, well, the masks and the social distancing is definitely an adjustment. I'm like yelling for hours because I just want them to be able to hear what I have to say, you know? So that's definitely an adjustment. It's definitely been a growing experience in my teaching and how I explain things because I can't touch them. So I have to be able to explain things really clearly. And so that's been awesome, actually, because I'm learning a lot from that. But it has been difficult. I'm used to just, right? We like touch the arm, we bring it up, we straighten the leg by pushing the knee back. But I'm having to say things like, okay, how are you going to straighten your leg? Engage what muscles, right? So that's been interesting, and I also think that that's beneficial for the people who are learning because now they're learning how to do it without somebody just putting them into place. So that's been good, but also challenging. When I was offered the position to come to PBD, my main goal was that I felt like I had something to offer technique-wise because I had been taking lessons very actively and actively competing, and well, we still are, but right now it's, you know, the ballroom world is a little bit on a hiatus in that sense, but we were just getting a lot of current information, and so I felt like that was something that I could personally add, was the new information that I was getting specifically in smooth and in ballroom. So I came to PBD with that goal to help with the technique and to show them that there's to just kind of like bump up the level of technique just a little bit more if I could. Not to say that I'm not the fix-all, and I know that. But that was my goal. No, I'm not the fix-all. But that was my goal, and so I think that this is going to be an awesome year because when there's possibly less competitions and possibly less performances, there's more time for growth. And so I guess that would be my main thing, is I'd really hope that the kids would be seeing this as a year for, wow, I can really, really get better. You know, I can really, really improve this year. And Landon and I are here to help them do that. So that's the challenge is also a blessing at the same time. So
yes, I think I love that you are kind of owning, like you do. I know you're being humble too, but you do have a really special and significant place here as an active competitor than teaching kids who are trying to start out competing. And not only that, you did it from when you were a kid as well, so you can really connect with them on the level, and offer current information so that they can be their best self in today's competitive world, because it's going to be very different. You're going to be right along there with them. So yes, I think that you have so much to offer in your technique, and it's really, really important to us, to all of us, to have you here. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, the dance world is so much bigger than this little PBD bubble, and I think they get to see it a little bit when they go to nationals. But like with Landon and I, where we're actively competing and like traveling to New York and California, and we're just, you know, you see the the ability that you have to become a better dancer, and it's not just like, oh, I've hit my peak and here I'm the best here in Washington, because there's always going to be somebody that's better than you. And so and that's not meant to take anybody down, that's just meant to buoy you up, you know. So
yeah, I think that the opportunity to compete, you're always gonna you'll be pushed up against someone that's gonna push you. That you keep moving up the categories, and it's the way it's designed. It's a special challenge to be continually evaluated, and getting comfortable with being evaluated is something we gotta all work on.
yeah.
But it's important. So if we just stay in our little bubble, our PBD bubble, and it's the same people all the time, and you get kind of feeling like you have your place in the world of dance, you know, get it bigger. That's a good point. So hopefully we can travel to competitions.
Yeah, I hope so too. But,
Yeah.
you know,
We will. I mean, it's an
yeah, maybe not this year, maybe this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Eventually it will happen. We'll do it, and it'll be fun, because then you're right. Like we'll have the most recent competition, and then it'll have been months for improvement, and then another competition, and then it'll be really fun to see the growth, I think.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it's also important to remember that people are not stopping. They're still practicing, like everywhere else where we came from in Utah. Like those kids are still improving and still practicing, and they're putting in a lot of effort and time and to be better when the competitions start up again, you know? So I know it feels like everything is ending right now, but this is just an opportunity to grow. So
we're all, yeah.
Don't I know it? Don't I know it?
All right, well, we're just about to the end of our time. Do you have any special advice or a dance tip or some little bit of wisdom you'd like to share with us as we close up?
Wisdom.
Oh.
I think, okay, it's not really a dance tip. It's more, well, yeah, it's a dance tip. Okay. I have struggled with confidence my whole life, not doing things because I didn't feel like I was smart enough or I was good enough or I was talented enough. But I just hold myself back when I don't have that confidence. And honestly, that's not something that I have learned until very, very recently, is to just have that extra level of confidence. And it cannot be given to you by anybody else. And that is the hard part. So I guess what I would say is that specifically in your dancing, if I'm talking to the PBD kids, it would be to have confidence. And confidence and cockiness are two completely different things, right? But just know your abilities, know what you're good at, and magnify those, you know? Yeah, and just have a little bit more self-compassion and self-confidence, and push yourself. Don't run from competition or hard things, because they will come and they will find you anyway. So, yeah.
That's so true. We're going to have, so might as well pick the hard thing and go for it. I so identify with this, you know, your journey towards self-confidence and self-compassion. I think it's a lifetime thing that we have to do. I think women in particular need to really work and focus on this so that we can really stretch into our potential and not be held back by our doubts, which are going to exist. So it's
I would also add, can I add something?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that I would also add to that is to have confidence in other people and to just constantly build other people up, because everybody knows what they're bad at. Everybody knows, especially your partner. They know what they're bad at. It's very clear to them. You don't need to point it out. Just work on yourself and just build them up as much as you can. So that's something that I'm still learning. But yeah,
it's a little easier to point out what other people are doing than you do.
Yes, it is.
All right, we're almost done, but I'm going to look and see if we had any questions or comments. It says,
okay.
Oh, Pamela, is this your?
That's my mom, probably.
Oh, your mom says you're being modest, and she says that Hannah and her partner won all levels of syllabus.
Oh my gosh, we don't have to read that. Mom.
She's very proud.
I
love
do have a proud mom. That's
you.
true.
You'll just have to introduce me sometime, okay? Because I like
Okay,
her already.
I will.
All right, cool. If anybody else has any questions or comments, you can always reach Hannah at pacificballroom.org. You can also text questions to me at Ann@pacificballroom.org. You can call our studio, come sign up for a class, get a private lesson with Hannah. There's so many ways that you can come into our studio. We're making it work during COVID. We're dancing, we're being safe, we're going to find a way to do performances, and we're just going to thrive during this time, this difficult time with Hannah's help, right?
Hopefully. Yeah.
Have a great day, Hannah.
Thank
And
you.
everyone else, I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.